Welcome, my friend. Today we are going to dive deep into a book that has changed millions of lives all over the world. And maybe it will change yours too. The name of this powerful book is You Can Heal Your Life, written by Louise Hay. This is not just a book. It is a spiritual mirror. It reflects your pain, your fears, your doubts, and then gently shows you how to heal, how to let go, and how to live a life filled with love, peace, and power. Since its first publication in 1984, this book has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide. It has been translated into 30-plus languages. It has become a #1 bestseller in dozens of countries. And most importantly, it has helped people recover from emotional wounds, toxic relationships, low self-worth, and even physical illness. Louise Hay was not just an author. She was a healer, speaker, and a pioneer of mind-body medicine. Her words are not just theories. They are tools. Tools to rewire your thoughts, reshape your emotions, and rebuild your life from the inside out. So why should you care about this book? Because your mind is not innocent. It holds beliefs you didn't choose. Beliefs that might be destroying your happiness, your body, your relationships, and your self-worth. And if you want to change your life, you must begin where all pain begins. Inside your thoughts. In this summary, I will guide you, in very simple English, through the real lessons of this book, not fictional motivation. You will learn why your thoughts affect your health, how childhood trauma becomes adult pain, how to break free from fear, guilt, and shame, how to use mirror work, affirmations, and forgiveness to heal, how Louise Hay herself healed her own cancer, and how you can begin to heal too. This is not a video you watch once and forget. This is the kind of video that makes you cry, that makes you pause, that makes you ask, what have I been doing to myself all these years? And by the end of this video, you will not only understand yourself better, you will start to believe, yes, I can heal my life. So grab a notebook, open your heart, and let's begin this life-changing journey. Part 1. What Louise Hay believes. Louise Hay starts her book with a simple but radical idea. If we are willing to do the mental work, almost anything can be healed. Let's now understand 6 of her most powerful core beliefs. 1. Your thoughts create your life. Louise Hay believes that your mind is like a garden. Every single thought you think, whether loving or hateful, hopeful or fearful, is a seed. And that seed grows. If you keep planting seeds like, I'm not good enough, nobody loves me, I always fail, I can't afford it, you grow a garden full of self-doubt, pain, poverty, and illness. But if you change those thoughts to, I am learning to love myself, I am open to good things happening, I am safe, I am supported, then your life starts to reflect those loving seeds. She says, we are never victims of the outer world. We are victims of our own thinking habits. And if we change the way we think, we can change the way we live. The point of power is always in the present moment. Imagine 2 people lose their job. One says, I'm worthless, and falls into depression. The other says, this is a new beginning, and starts a new career, same event, different thoughts, different reality. 2. Everything in your life is a mirror. Louise Hay says, life is very simple. What we give out, we get back. This means your relationships, your career, your money, your health. They all reflect your inner beliefs. If you believe people will hurt you, you attract toxic people. If you believe money is evil, you'll struggle financially. If you believe love always ends in pain, you'll keep repeating heartbreak. This is not magic. It's your subconscious mind choosing what to notice, who to trust, and how to behave, all based on what you believe is true. So if you want better relationships, better income, better health, you must go within and ask, what do I believe? And is it helping me or hurting me? A woman who says, all men are liars, is not cursed. She's just unconsciously attracted to people who match that belief, until she changes it. 3. Illness begins in the mind, not the body. Louise Hay was one of the first to publicly teach that physical illness often begins with emotional pain. She believed that cancer often hides deep resentment. Back pain comes from feeling unsupported. Throat problems may reflect fear of speaking up. Stomach issues can represent digesting anger. She's not saying, it's your fault you're sick. She's saying, let's explore what pain you've been holding on to. That might be showing up in your body. The body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of our inner thoughts and beliefs. A man with constant back pain might realize he's been feeling financially unsupported for years. Once he releases the fear and builds new affirmations like, life supports me, even the pain may begin to ease. Louise herself was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Instead of choosing surgery, she went deep into emotional healing, letting go of childhood abuse, shame, and anger. And within 6 months, her doctors reported she was healed. She didn't just believe in this idea, she lived it. Truth 4. Self-hate is the root of most problems. We are never wrong. We just don't know better until we know better. Louise Hay. If Louise could sit in front of you right now and place her hand gently on your heart, she would say, you are not broken. You're just hurting. And that pain is coming from how you treat yourself, inside your own mind. Louise Hay believed that behind almost every external problem, failed relationships, money struggles, health issues, addictions, depression, there is a silent enemy hiding inside us. Self-hate, self-judgment, self-criticism. And the saddest part? Most people don't even realize they are doing it. They smile in public, but in private, they say things like, I'm so stupid. I'm not attractive. I mess everything up. I'm a failure. Nobody will ever really love me. These are not small thoughts. They are emotional weapons, and we point them at ourselves. Every day, Louise teaches that you cannot truly heal any area of your life if you are still attacking yourself in your own mind. Your mind listens to everything you say, and it believes you. Imagine a child spills milk on the table and you scream, you idiot, you ruin everything. What happens? The child starts to believe, I'm bad. Now imagine, that child is you, and you've been saying that to yourself for 20 years. Do you see the damage? Louise says the first step to freedom is this. Stop saying mean things to yourself. Start treating yourself like someone you love. Every time you catch yourself being cruel inside, stop, breathe, and say something softer. I'm doing my best. I am willing to learn. I deserve kindness. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, say it anyway, because healing begins with kindness towards yourself. Truth 5. Childhood beliefs are still controlling you. We learn our belief systems as very little children, and then we move through life creating experiences to match our beliefs. Louise Hay. This is one of the most important truths in the entire book. Louise says, when you were a child, You had no filter. You accepted everything your parents, teachers, and adults said as truth. If your parents said, "You'll never be successful," you believed it. If someone said, "You're ugly," or "You're not smart enough," it went into your heart. If you were punished, ignored, abused, or abandoned, your little brain thought, "I must be bad. I must not be lovable." And here's the terrifying part. That inner child, that belief, is still inside you today. Even though you've grown up, you may still be acting from the same broken beliefs you learned at age 5. Working too hard to prove you're good enough. Sabotaging relationships because deep down you think you don't deserve love. Struggling with money because you believe you're not worthy of success. Example: a man is constantly afraid to ask for help. Why? Because when he was 6, his father said, "Don't cry like a baby. Handle it like a man." Now at 40, he still believes, "If I ask for help, I'm weak." But Louise says, once you become aware of where a belief came from, you can say, "That's not mine anymore." You can choose a new belief. This is what she calls mental house cleaning. It's time to walk into your mind with a flashlight and throw out every belief that was never truly yours. Truth 6. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. The past is over and done. We cannot change it, but we can change our thoughts about it. This is one of the hardest truths for most people, and one of the most powerful. Louise teaches that holding on to anger, resentment, betrayal, and blame is like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. You are not hurting them. You are hurting you. Your anger sits in your stomach. Your resentment burns in your chest. Your pain becomes illness, anxiety, depression, and sometimes even disease. Louise writes, "We may not want to let go of the hurt because we don't want to let them off the hook. But we must understand that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves." She's not asking you to say what they did was okay. No, she's asking you to say, "I refuse to carry this anymore. I release it. I choose peace." For example, a woman who was abused by her stepfather said, "I'll never forgive him." But after years of depression and illness, she tried Louise's work. She began saying, "I forgive you. I set myself free, not for him, but for her." And slowly, her healing began. Louise herself was abused as a child. She had every reason to hate, to be angry, to seek revenge. But she chose forgiveness. And that's what healed her life. Forgiveness doesn't mean the pain didn't matter. It means you matter more than the pain. Part 2. Session with Louise. Healing begins here. Step 1. Your problem is not the real problem. You may think your problem is, "I'm broke. I'm overweight. My partner cheated on me. I'm always anxious. I have cancer." But Louise teaches a deep truth. What you call the problem is just the outer effect. The real cause is your thoughts, emotions, and past beliefs. In other words, the financial stress might be rooted in a belief like, "I don't deserve abundance." The relationship drama might come from a pattern like, "Love always ends in pain." The weight might be a defense mechanism saying, "I need to protect myself." The illness might be your body crying for help because of years of guilt or unexpressed pain. Most people try to fix the surface. They get a new job. They start a diet. They get into another relationship. But nothing truly changes until they go deeper and ask, what is the hidden emotional pattern behind this problem? One of Louise's clients was a woman who kept getting fired from every job she took. She said, "It's always the boss. They hate me. But after talking, Louise uncovered her real belief. I'm not smart enough to be respected. She had been told as a child, you'll never amount to anything. And she believed it. So every time a boss corrected her, she panicked, froze, and sabotaged herself. That belief, not the boss, was the real problem. The day she changed her belief to, I am intelligent, capable, and respected, her life began to transform. Lesson: don't just look at the surface. Ask yourself, what do I believe that is allowing this problem to exist? Step 2. Go back to the beginning. Where did it come from? Our beliefs were learned in childhood. Most of them are not ours. They were borrowed from scared, confused people. Louise Hay. Louise believed that almost every negative pattern in your adult life is rooted in something you learned as a child. When you were 3, 5, 7 years old, you were not logical. You couldn't say, Dad is angry because of his own stress. Instead, your child brain said, if Daddy yells, I must be bad. If your parents fought, you thought, it's my fault. If someone left you, you thought, I'm not lovable. If you were abused, ignored, or criticized, you thought, I'm dirty, I'm broken, I'm not safe. These ideas entered your heart like facts, and you carried them into adulthood without even realizing. Louise says that if you feel stuck in any area of life, money, love, health, confidence, you must go back and ask, when did I first feel this way? What was happening around me as a child? Imagine a man who had a panic attack every time he had to speak in public. He thought he was just bad at speaking. But Louise asked, when was the first time you felt scared to speak? He remembered being 7 years old. In school, he answered a question wrong, and the whole class laughed. His teacher said, are you that stupid? That one moment created a lifelong fear of being seen. Once he remembered that, Louise guided him to say, that was their ignorance. I am smart. I am safe to speak now and slowly. He began to speak again. His panic disappeared. Lesson: you are not broken. You are carrying beliefs that were formed when you were too small to defend yourself. But now you are grown. Now you can go back, understand, and begin to release them. Step 3. Ask the hardest question. Is this even true? Just because a belief is old doesn't mean it's true. It just means you've been practicing it longer. This step is where transformation begins. Once you realize where your beliefs come from, you must dare to question them. Louise believed that most people are living their whole lives based on other people's fears. Your mother said, money is evil. So now you sabotage your finances. A teacher said, you'll never be a good writer. So you never even try. Someone cheated on you. Now you believe love is dangerous. But are these beliefs true? Or are they just emotional leftovers from people who were hurting? Louise teaches us to say, that belief may have felt true in the past, but it is not serving me now. I am ready to choose a better one. A woman told Louise, I believe I'm too old to find love. Why? Because her ex-husband told her at age 45, no man wants a woman your age. She carried that belief like a law for 10 years. Louise gently asked her, is that your belief? Or did someone give it to you? She paused and realized, I never believed that before. He made me believe it. And in that moment, she replaced it with, I am lovable at every age. I deserve love now. And within a year, she found someone who treated her like gold. Lesson: beliefs can be thrown away. You are not a prisoner of your past. You have the right and the power to choose better thoughts. We are never stuck. We just keep repeating old patterns until we learn we can choose something new. Step 4. Be willing to release it. Let the old pain go. The past is over and done. You cannot change it, but you can change how you feel about it. This is the moment where everything begins to shift. Once you've identified your problem, traced its roots, and questioned its truth, the next step is this. You must become willing to let it go. Sounds simple, but it's not, because many people are secretly attached to their pain. Why? Because pain is familiar. Because being a victim makes us feel protected. Because if we let go of the story, we might have to face the fear of being powerful. Louise Hay teaches that you don't need to figure it all out to release something. You just need to be willing. A woman said to Louise, "I hate my mother for what she did. I'll never forgive her." Louise gently asked, "Are you willing to forgive her?" The woman paused and said, "I'm not ready, but I'm willing to try." And that tiny shift, that little willingness, opened the door. A few weeks later, she said, "I feel lighter. I'm no longer angry all the time." Eventually, she forgave, and her migraines disappeared. The truth is this: you don't have to carry what hurt you. You can release it. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. I now release all old hurts and allow love to fill me. This one step, if taken with sincerity, can change your entire life. Step 5. Understand resistance. Why you feel stuck. Resistance is simply the mind saying, "I don't want to change." Now that you're starting to heal, suddenly fear shows up. You procrastinate. You get angry at the book. You think, "This is stupid." You forget to do your affirmations. You go back to the same toxic habits. This is called resistance. Louise says resistance is normal. It's your ego trying to protect the identity you've lived with for years. Change is scary. Even good change. Like, if you've always believed I'm not lovable, then saying I am lovable feels like a lie. If you've lived in survival mode, choosing joy feels dangerous. If pain has been your shield, healing feels too vulnerable. A man who had grown up in a violent home told Louise, "I don't feel safe when things are peaceful." Because calmness was unfamiliar. Pain was normal. That's resistance, not laziness, not failure, just emotional fear. So Louise doesn't say, "Push through." She says, "Be gentle with your resistance. Talk to it, understand it, then slowly walk past it. I am willing to change. I trust the process of life." Lesson: if you're feeling stuck, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're growing, and your old self is afraid to die. But healing means letting that old version of you go. Step 6. Learn how to change. Use affirmations and mirror work. An affirmation is any statement you make. The most powerful affirmations are the ones you say to yourself in the mirror. Louise Hay. Now comes the tool that Louise Hay is most famous for. Affirmations. Mirror work. Louise teaches that the subconscious mind learns through repetition. If you've been telling yourself for 20 years, "I'm not good enough," then of course your life reflects that. So now you must start feeding your mind new, healing, loving thoughts, again and again, until they become your new truth. And the most powerful way to do that is, look into your own eyes in the mirror and say, "I love you. I forgive you. You are safe now. I am willing to learn. I deserve good things." Yes, it feels strange. Yes, you might cry. Yes, your inner critic will scream, This is fake, but do it anyway, because your inner child is watching. One of Louise's clients, a man in his 50s, broke down in tears after doing mirror work for the first time. He had never looked at himself with love, not once. And in that moment, he said, "I finally see myself." After 30 days of mirror work, his confidence rose. He left an abusive job and started teaching children, something he'd always dreamed of. Lesson: affirmations are not magic. They are mental reprogramming. They are love, spoken out loud, until your soul believes it. Step 7. Do the inner work daily. This is a lifelong journey. You don't get rid of all your negative thoughts overnight. You begin where you are, and you grow. Louise reminds us that healing is not a one-time event. It's not a switch you flip. It's a journey. You must show up every day like you would for your child, your garden, your pet, your dreams, because your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant good seeds daily, weeds will return. So she recommends: start your day with affirmations, even 5 minutes. Forgive quickly so resentment doesn't grow. Talk gently to yourself in hard moments. Celebrate small changes, even if no one notices. Use mirror work daily, even for 1 minute. Replace every harsh thought with a healing one. Louise herself had to do this work every day, even after healing her cancer, even after becoming famous. She said, "I still get triggered, but I return to love quicker now." That's the difference lesson. Healing is not perfection. Healing is practice. And it's okay to fall, as long as you keep rising with kindness. Part 3. Putting it into practice. This is where she takes all the beliefs and inner healing work from the previous chapters and shows you exactly how to apply it in real life. Lesson 1. Create a daily routine that supports healing. You have the power to choose healing thoughts every day. Begin with your mornings. Louise says healing is not something you think about once and forget. It's something you must live, breathe, and practice daily. Just like brushing your teeth, eating your meals, or going to work. Your mind needs daily care, and your heart needs daily love. So she teaches a very simple but powerful idea. Make healing your morning routine, your evening practice, and your daily inner habit. Because if you don't take control of your mind each day, the world will fill it with noise, fear, stress, comparison, anger, and guilt. Here's what she recommends. Wake up and place your hand on your heart. Say, "Good morning, I love you. Today is a new beginning." While brushing teeth or washing face, repeat affirmations. Example: I am safe. I am loved. Life supports me in every way in front of the mirror. Speak to yourself. You're doing great. I trust you. You're learning. I forgive you for yesterday. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, even if they're small. Breath, clean water, your eyes, your progress. Say your chosen affirmation of the day. Examples: I deserve success. I attract loving relationships. My body is healing right now. One woman shared her story with Louise. She had been depressed for years, couldn't get out of bed, hated her job, and had no energy. After reading You Can Heal Your Life, she decided to try one thing. Just say 3 affirmations in the mirror every morning, even if she didn't believe them. At first, she cried. She couldn't even say, "I love you" to herself. But by week 2, something shifted. She said, "I'm still tired, but I don't hate myself anymore." By week 4, she had applied for a new job. By week 6, she said, "I'm healing. I can feel it." Not because she took a magic pill, Because she gave herself 5 minutes every morning to feed her soul. Why this works. Your mind is vulnerable when you wake up. It's open, it's soft. So what you feed it first thing in the morning shapes the energy of your entire day. Most people start their day by grabbing their phone and seeing war, notifications, deadlines, bills, comparison. But Louise says, why not start your day by reminding your mind that you are safe, loved, and deserving of good things? It's not a ritual. It's a rescue. Affirmations you can use. I am willing to change. I trust the process of life. I am in the right place, doing the right things. I am open to new opportunities. I choose thoughts that heal me. Your healing doesn't begin when someone loves you. It begins when you wake up and choose to love yourself. Before the world has a chance to define your day. Make your mornings a moment of power, not panic. Lesson 2. Use mirror work to heal the deepest wounds. The most powerful affirmations are those you say in front of a mirror while looking into your own eyes. This is the tool that changed millions of lives. And it's what made Louise Hay famous around the world. Mirror work. It may sound simple, even silly, but it is life-changing. Here's what she teaches. When you look into a mirror and say something kind, loving, or forgiving, it cuts straight to the part of you that is hurting. That's because most people never look into their own eyes. We brush past mirrors quickly. We check our appearance. But we don't stop. Look. And speak to the soul behind the eyes. What to say in the mirror. Look deeply into your eyes. No phone, no distraction. Start with the hardest thing. I love you. If you cry, that's okay. That's healing. Add affirmations. You are safe. You did your best. You are not your past. I forgive you. You deserve love. Do it at least once every day. Morning and night is even better. One man had grown up in an abusive home. He said he had never once been told, I love you. Not even by himself. Louise asked him to do mirror work. At first he said, I can't. I feel nothing. It's awkward, but he kept doing it. For 30 days. On day 12, he cried. On day 20, he smiled. On day 30, he looked into his eyes and said, You're a good man. I'm proud of you. And he meant it. He later wrote to Louise and said, That mirror gave me back to myself. Why mirror work works? Because it brings the inner child to the surface. When you speak to your reflection, your subconscious listens. It hears the tone, the kindness, the care. If you keep saying, I'm stupid, your subconscious believes it. If you start saying, I am healing, it will believe that too. Louise's tip. Even if you can't say the full words yet, start small. I'm learning to love you. I am trying. You matter. These are not affirmations. These are lifelines. Key lesson. Mirror work is not a trick. It's not about ego or beauty. It's about building a relationship with the most important person in your life. You. Lesson 3. Use affirmations for specific areas of life. When we change our thoughts, we change the energy around us. When the energy shifts, the result must follow. At this point, the book becomes very practical. The idea is simple, but powerful. Speak healing directly into the area that's hurting you. You don't need to wait for some miracle. You don't need to wait for someone else to fix you. You don't need to beg life to change. You start by planting new thoughts into your health, your money, your relationships, your career, your heart. Just like a farmer doesn't stand in a field and cry because the crops aren't growing. He plants seeds, waters them daily, and trusts the harvest will come. You must treat your life like that field. So here's how to do it. Identify the life area that needs healing: money problems, love life broken, constant anxiety, hate your body, feel stuck in your job, afraid of the future, deep guilt or shame, lack of confidence. Wherever you are hurting, that's where the old belief is hiding. And that's where your new affirmation must enter. Money and abundance. Old belief: I can't afford it. I'm always broke. New thought: I am open and ready to receive prosperity. Money flows to me easily and freely. I deserve financial security. Real result: when people say this daily, their fear of money softens, and opportunities begin to appear that they never noticed before. Relationship and love. Old belief: love always hurts. I attract the wrong people. New thought: I am worthy of a healthy, loving relationship. I attract people who respect and cherish me. I now give and receive love freely. Real result: many people started saying this and noticed toxic people began to fade away, and genuine, peaceful friendships began to grow. Old belief: I'm ugly. I hate how I look. I'm disgusting. New thought: I love and accept my body exactly as it is. I thank my body for taking care of me. Every cell of my body is responding to love. Real result: some people reported that their eating disorders began to fade. Others felt energy return, not because of pills, but because of kindness to their own body. Anxiety and fear of the future. Old belief: what if I fail? What if I get sick? What if it all goes wrong? New thought: I am safe in the present moment. Life is unfolding perfectly. I trust the process of life. Real result: people who couldn't sleep at night started saying this while falling asleep, and reported peace for the first time in years. Career and purpose. Old belief: I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. New thought: I am deeply talented and valuable. I do meaningful work that brings joy to others. Success flows to me naturally. Real result: some began small businesses. Others finally applied for a dream job. Because the first success was inside. The secret here is not to just say affirmations, but to feel them. Let them sink in. Let them touch the old pain. Let them water the dry garden inside your soul. You don't have to believe them fully yet. You just have to be willing to begin. Lesson 4. The body holds emotional pain, and it can be healed with words. The body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of our inner thoughts and beliefs. This is the part of the book that changed the world. In this section, we are introduced to one of the most famous tools in the history of self-healing. A detailed chart showing physical illnesses, their emotional causes, and healing affirmations. This is where Louise teaches that many diseases, pains, and symptoms are not random, but deeply connected to emotional wounds we carry inside. When you hold anger, your liver feels it. When you feel unsupported, your back hurts. When you're afraid to speak, your throat tightens. When you carry guilt, your body becomes heavy and tired. When you believe you don't deserve love, your heart suffers. This doesn't mean you caused your illness on purpose, but it means your body is always talking, and its language is emotion. Body issue. Emotional cause: healing affirmation. Back pain: lower. Financial worry: lack of support. Life always supports me. Throat issues: fear of expressing yourself. I speak my truth freely and with love. Heart problems: emotional emptiness, lack of joy. My heart is filled with joy and peace. Migraines: self-criticism, pressure to be perfect. I love and accept myself completely. Stomach problems. Fear of digesting life. I am safe. Life nourishes me. Weight issues needing protection. Fear, guilt. I am willing to release what no longer serves me. A woman with constant neck pain came to one of Louise's workshops. She said no doctor could find a cause. After talking, she revealed that she always felt she had to watch her back because her mother had betrayed her as a child. That phrase, "watch my back," became physical. Her body carried her emotional fear like armor. After 3 weeks of doing the affirmation, "I trust life," I released the need to protect myself. Her pain began to fade. This is not magic. It's mind-body alignment. When the belief is healed, the body can breathe again. Why this is revolutionary. Doctors can treat the symptoms, but only you can listen to what your body's trying to tell you. This chart is not about guilt. It's about awareness, and awareness is the first step to transformation. Key practice. Notice what area of your body is always in pain. Check the emotional cause. You can use the chart. Speak the healing affirmation daily to that part of the body. Send it love. Watch what happens. Part 4. From pain to power. Now comes the most powerful part of this book. A real-life story of pain, healing, and transformation. This is not fiction. This really happened. There comes a moment in every healing journey when the lessons stop being just ideas, and they become real. They become the blood in your veins, the truth in your tears, the strength in your silence. This final part of the book is not about affirmations, charts, or theories. It's about a real story. Raw, painful, beautiful. It's the story of a woman who faced the darkest moments of life and chose healing. Not because it was easy, not because someone saved her, but because she finally believed she was worth saving. Before the books, before the teachings, before the healing. She was a little girl who learned fear before she learned her name. She was abused as a child, abandoned, hurt by the people who were supposed to protect her, told she was worthless, that her body wasn't hers, that silence was survival. At a young age, she ran away. She became a high school dropout, worked odd jobs, lived in fear, and carried the invisible weight of shame, not knowing that one day that shame would almost kill her. Years later, after building a new life, after learning to speak on stages, after helping others heal with words, she got the news. Cancer, cervical cancer. Most people would go to the hospital, get surgery, seek treatment. But she didn't. Because deep down, she knew something bigger was wrong. She said to herself, "If I created this with years of hatred, then I can uncreate it with years of love." She didn't want to treat the tumor. She wanted to treat the pain that created the tumor. And so began the deepest healing journey of her life. She went back into the memories she had buried, the abuse, the anger, the self-hatred, the sexual shame, the guilt that had lived in her body for decades. She realized, this cancer is not the enemy. It is my body begging me to finally stop carrying this pain. So she didn't fight her body. She sat with it. She listened to it. She forgave herself. She cried like a child. She wrote letters to her parents, not to get answers, but to release the poison. She stood in the mirror, looked into her own eyes, and said, "I forgive you. I love you. I am not what happened to me." She changed her diet. She changed her thoughts. She changed the energy in her home, her mind, her heart. And in 6 months, the cancer was gone. No surgery, no radiation, no miracle drug. Just one miracle belief. I am willing to let go of the past and allow love to heal me. She didn't hide this story. She shared it. She turned her personal healing into a message for millions. Because she knew there are people out there who don't believe they're good enough to heal. People who are carrying trauma that doesn't belong to them. People who have cried into pillows every night, silently screaming, "Will I ever be okay again?" And her answer, through her story, her life, and her healing, is yes, you will. But you must be willing to do the work. You must be willing to believe that you are not what happened to you. You are not your mistakes. You are not the voice that says, "I'm not good enough." You are not broken. You are buried. And when you water yourself with love, you bloom. You don't heal because time passes. You heal because you become present with your pain. You face your reflection. You say the things you were never told. You are forgiven. You are safe. You are lovable. You are enough. And you say it again, and again, and again, until one day your heart finally whispers back, "I believe you." Healing is not a straight line. You will fall back into old patterns. You will forget who you are sometimes. You will have days where the pain returns, uninvited. But now you have tools. You have words. You have mirrors. You have affirmations. You have understanding. And most of all, you have power. Not the kind that comes from fighting others, but the kind that comes from finally not fighting yourself. Final lessons from this story. 1. Nothing is too broken to heal. Even cancer, even trauma, even abandonment. 2. Your body is listening to your thoughts. Speak to it with love. 3. Healing begins with forgiveness. Of others, yes, but especially of yourself. 4. You are not your childhood. You are who you choose to become, starting today. 5. You are always one new thought away from a new life. Say it slowly to yourself. I now choose to release all fear and pain. I am safe. I am free. I am willing to heal. And I do so now, with love. This was not a book summary. This was a soul invitation, an invitation to look within, to stop running, to stop blaming, to stop punishing yourself, and to start saying, "I am willing to heal. I am ready to live. I am choosing love." Again and again and again. If you've come this far, it means your heart is already opening. Now the question is, will you do the work? Will you meet your own eyes in the mirror? Will you forgive the past? Will you speak healing into your present? Will you finally choose you? Because this book gave you the tools. Now the rest is in your hands. If this summary touched you, even a little, please consider subscribing to the channel, not just for more videos, but to be part of a community where healing, growth, and learning happen together. And if you're someone who needs this message again someday, you'll know exactly where to find it. Thank you for watching. You are loved, you are safe, and you can heal your life. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.